guys, welcome to the second part of this week's Coffin here. Should take you through all the new single issues out this week. It's undoubtedly a huge week for DC, which we'll get into in a second, but still plenty of other quality titles out this week as well. So we're going to kick things off first of all with the independent books. So we start with Assassin's Creed Visionaries. These are all new Assassins imagined by today's top creators, so they tend to be one-shots coming out every so often, so new this week. One that started creeping up, excuse the terrible pun, on the pull list recently was a little bit of a horror title, which is called The Creeping Below from Paul Azzarello and Vanessa Del Rey. So cracking creative team on the go there. That's from Boom Studios. Next up we have The Crow. Now this one, it's done by Sumerian. It's a subtitle of Dead Time. It's actually a reprint of an older story, but clearly they felt the need to cleanse the palate when it comes to The Crow with quality after that cluster fudge of a movie that just came out recently. But yeah, written by original series creator James O'Barr. You got Doug Wagner involved and Alex Maleev on art. That's going to be 4 issues, I think. Next up we have EC Comics Cruel Universe, continuing on their science fiction anthology, sci-fi and fantasy, continuing with those lovely Greg Smallwood covers. Next up, Godzilla Rivals, the latest one-shot here, which is Mechagodzilla versus King Ghidorah. These are always oversized one-shots, celebrating 25 years of IDW. We have a new title this week from Ghost Machine, which of course is the imprinted Image comics, run primarily by Gary Frank, Jeff Johns, Ivan Rice, Peter J. Tomasi, etc., etc. So Hyde Street, brand new #1. Looks like it's going to be dealing with some sort of 1950s Americana science fiction and fantasy there as well. Then we have Nemesis Rogues Gallery, so issue 3 of the latest volume of Nemesis, which of course is what if Batman decided to be bad instead of good, a master criminal instead of a superhero. But yeah, issue 3, these are always tons of fun. Mark Miller and Valerio Giordano. Skin Police is next up. This is from Oni Press, brand new #1, written by Jordan Thomas, art by Daniel Gett. Looks to be some hardcore action there. Then we have Spawn and 2 bits of Spawn this week. You have Spawn 357 and you have Keen Spawn #38. It is actually insane and very commendable just how many Spawn titles there are and how consistently they just come out. Next up is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Nightwatcher. Now, I wasn't that interested in this, I have to admit, but now that I see Juni Ba involved with it, who of course recently did the Amazing Boy Wonder series, it has piqued my interest again. And then we finish off the new issue of The Walking Dead Deluxe. So as far as issue 98 now, we are hip deep in the Something to Fear arc, and not that far away from a certain baseball-wielding maniac coming into the series. So we move away from there and on to DC. So Absolute Power Origins, Absolute Power #4 is this week. This is the last of the 4-issue series. Dan Moore on art, Mark Waid writing. This sets up the incoming Justice League title. And again, just a bit of a fresh start for DC with what they are doing. But if you want to talk fresh starts, then it's all about this title this week, which is DC All In. This is an oversized 56-pager, $5, so great price point for it, in comparison to, 22-page comics being, $4, that sort of thing. It's also got some of the top creators working today. You've got Scott Snyder, you've got Joshua Williamson, Daniel Sampere, and Wes Craig on art. And it's essentially going to set up the DC continuity going forward, but also set up the Absolute Universe as well, with Darkseid clearly in the middle of all of this somewhere. If you're interested in getting into the DC stuff, this is your starting point right here. As I say, it'll give you an idea of direction stories are heading. It'll set up all that new cool stuff for Absolute. So that's definitely the place to start. Of course, we have went big on that, just to make sure that no one's disappointed. So the thing to look out for when you come into the store over October is any DC comics that have this sort of white background with the symbol and then the character to the forefront. These are all starting points. These are all the beginnings of brand new stories. They'll have the All-In logo there at the top. The DC Bullet, of course, is back. Always a welcome sight. But yeah, if you're unsure, certainly just ask. But yeah, this is just a handy guide that if you see this white sort of background with the character in the foreground, that's the start of a new story. So that's Batman 153, Chip Zdarsky and Jorge Jimenez. Next up, not quite part of DC All In, you have Batman Scooby-Doo Adventures. Looks like it might be bringing Harley Quinn into it. But again, you'll see everything's starting to be rebranded with the DC Bullet logo. So Birds of Prey, another example. You'll see again the white background, the characters. So again, starting point if this is a series you want to get into. It's issue 14, but again, it's a brand new starting point and jumping on point for new readers. Next up, we have DC Horror Presents Creature Commandos. Now, this seems to be in advance of the animated show that's coming very soon from DC Studios. So you have David Dastmalchian, who of course is a well-known veteran of superhero cinema. Look them up, you'll have seen them in a million things, I can guarantee you. Everything from Ant-Man to The Dark Knight to Suicide Squad and more. But yeah, they're on writing duties here. Jesus Hervas on art. I believe this is going to be a 6-issue miniseries, so issue 1 this week. We have DC's annual horror anthology, which has a fantastic name. DC's I Know What You Did Last Crisis, which is just cracking stuff. But again, yeah, you'll get 7 or 8 different stories in there, anthology based. Next up, we have Nice House by the Lake, issue 3. So continuing on with James Tynion IV and his mystery title. Alvaro Martinez Bueno, of course, on art, and Jordi Belair on colors. We have Plastic Man No More. First issue, this was great. So issue 2 is this week. Christopher Cantwell on that. Poison Ivy this week. So again, you'll see another example, the white background, this is the character, and again, starting point. So issue 26, as G. Willow Wilson continues on her run on Poison Ivy. Marcio Takara on art. Shazam, again, another starting point. Again, just to re-emphasize, like the whole point in October is every DC sort of ongoing title has a starting point. So again, look for the white background. So it's issue 16 of Shazam, Josie Campbell and Dan McDade, but again, it's a jumping on point for you there. So moving away from DC and on to Marvel, we have new Deadpool this week, where as far as issue 7, Cody Ziegler continuing on with the Merc with a Mouth. We have a Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider one-shot this week. Tons of creators involved. It's subtitled here on Marvel Voices Special. So any Ghost Rider fans out there will definitely want that. As I say, just a lovely wee one-shot. We're up as far as issue 10 now for the Secret Wars facsimiles. So just 2 more to go after this for Marvel's seminal event. Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider is as far as issue 6. Mark Brooks continuing to do those great covers. Stephanie Phillips writing and Paolo Villanelli on art. The last issue of Star Wars Inquisitors is this week. So issue 4 there, Rodney Barnes and Ramon Rosanas. Darth Vader passes the final judgment. A new X-Men title, because isn't there a new one every week? From the Ashes, New Beginning, we have Storm with a brand new #1. So this one's, again, it's been a bit of a slow burner in terms of pull list, but in the last week or two, a few people have been jumping on that. We have Ultimate Black Panther now as far as issue 9. Brian Hill continued on this and Stefano Caselli on art. Speaking of facsimiles, there is the Uncanny X-Men 244 for that, which I think might be Thunderbolts, possibly. Need to look that up. We have Venom War, where as far as issue 3 of 5. Continuing on with the event, Al Ewing and Iban Coelho on arts. And just 1 or 2 to finish off with. We have the Venom War Spider-Man tie-in, which is issue 3 as far as we are through it. Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing writing this with Greg Land on art. And then we finish off the single issues this week with Jed McKay and Rand Stegman on X-Men. And that's X-Men number 5. So that's the single issues out of the way. Just a few variants to take you through for those books. So Birds of Prey, first of all, Sousa Makia variant cover there, showing off Barbara Gordon at Batgirl. DC Horror Presents Creature Commandos. So we've got a Charlie Adler, so horror royalty. Walking Dead artist, of course. Charlie Adler on variant cover duty there. Again, as part of DC All In, they're doing this range of foil covers, which are really, really cool. So we kick things off with Poison Ivy, number 26, so the Poison Ivy foil variant. We have the Batman 153 foil variant. Again, I love the simplicity and the design of these, it's great. We have the Shazam foil variant. These are all drawn by Daniel Sampere, I should say, as well. So a nice continuity of artists across those as well. Also, Poison Ivy, we have Jenny Frisson on variant cover duty, one of my favorite cover artists right there. We have Peach Momoko doing a variant for Deadpool number 7. A couple now then for Storm. So you've got the logo variant cover. First of all, this is again part of a series they've been doing with the X titles. We have Marco Cicchetto doing the Doom variant cover. So there is going to be a bit of a series through the variant covers of Marvel, showcasing Doctor Doom as they, prepare up for, I think it's a November-based event. We have also the Ji Hyun Lee variant cover for Storm as well. Ultimate Black Panther gets its variant cover this week from Michiru Arita, which is Ultimate Black Panther issue 9. We have Scotty Young continuing with his Venom War covers, which I do really like the Thumb War sort of play here of 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's have a Venom War. J. Scott Campbell continues his character variants for X-Men, so as far as issue 5, J. Scott Campbell again. Clayton Crane on his character variants for X-Force. X-Force 3 was out last week, I think, but we never got our variants, but in this week now. X-Men number 5, this is the retailer incentive 1 to 25 variant cover, done by Elizabeth Tork. Interesting one with this is that it actually says in the front X-Men number 1, but it's definitely 100% X-Men number 5, so a little bit of a misprint one there as well. We have the Batman 153 variant cover, done by David Nakayama. There's the retailer incentive 1 to 25 variant covers by John Jiang. So these are for the DC All-In Special. Again, showcasing Darkseid, who of course is apparently the beating heart of both these universes. We also have a foil variant of that cover, so that's a wraparound variant cover. Foil, again, Daniel Sampire there. And then we finish off with the return of the glorious DC Bullet logo. Again, variant cover for DC All-In number 1. So that's it, guys. That is everything out this week. Going on to the racks. Pull lists are, of course, organised and ready for collection whenever suits. Make sure to check out our previous video, which will show you all the new graphic novels that came in this week, just to make sure you're fully up to date. So as ever, guys, hope you enjoyed this. I hope it proved useful to you, and I look forward to seeing you in the store throughout the week. So until then, take it easy.